Hi, my name is Cody and I'm getting baptized today. When I was about 7 or 8, my parents started attending a Christian and Missionary Alliance church, and we were pretty active, pretty involved, all the way through high school. I went away to college and I kind of lost my way. Well, not kind of, I did lose my way. I always believed that there was something spiritual going on. I didn't lose that, but Jesus, I lost Jesus through that process. Worldly measures, I thought I needed to be super smart so I can solve problems that help people, and I thought I needed to be fit so I can, solve physical problems and help people. And it's an impossible goal to reach when you're you're all on your own, And it was kind of the good deeds get you to heaven mindset. When I was 23, or just about to turn 23, I had a sickness, a medical issue that, I was backed all the way into the corner. It's called Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS. So it's an autoimmune thing. It's not chronic, and it has a pretty high, full recovery rate. It's just very indefinite, the timeline of that recovery. So I wasn't like at death's end, but your immune system attacks your nervous system. So I was kind of paralyzed. I could move my legs, but they eventually got too weak to walk. And it can progress up to your lungs and cause breathing problems. So I ended up being on a respirator for 4 days. And when I was going down, that's when I called my dad. I had like one last phone call, and I just was, there was nothing I could do, my human worldly self could do at that point. And for many years I thought if I just did the right thing, I woke up and I had the perfect routine every day, that I could be invincible. And that's when I realized that it didn't matter. There was no sequence of earthly decisions that could be made to make me invincible, and I needed some help. I was helpless and I needed Jesus to help me. We go to a marriage retreat through my parents' church, and a lot of people who prayed for me and for Casey a few of those years. I met her about midway through that process. They were my parents' closest friends through the church. So we go to this marriage retreat, and kind of our spiritual elders are all there, so it's a pretty powerful moment for us, a pretty powerful event. And how much faith do you really have if you're not practicing? And we're not denying we believed, but we didn't know what we believed or why we believed. We just had concrete evidence that Jesus is the way, and but we needed to start practicing that a little bit more. So we start coming here, I think beginning of March, and just so many more signs that this is what we should be doing. We're heading in the right direction. The connection with Pastor Nate, grew up, that's who I grew up learning to preach, and he replaced Pastor Terry as the district superintendent, and then called him back to here. And just so many signs that this was the place. It just, we weren't denying it before, but it was infinitely undeniable at this point. So weren't sure about baptism. We knew we wanted to, but we didn't want to rush it. You know, we were thinking too hard. We were thinking too much, and it was just time to do it. You know, I think the way Pastor Terry put it was strike while the iron's hot. I know it's not what saves me, but it's just practicing what I believe in. I'm getting baptized today because it's the next step in following Jesus and what he asks us to do.
And today, are you willing to forsake the ways of this world to follow Jesus Christ only? It's my privilege to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.